Hello, friends. Welcome. I'm Dr. Helen, CEO, that's Chief Engagement Officer of Dr. Helen Holton and Associates, and your host for Dr. Helen Speaks, Strengths, Resilience, and Leadership. Welcome to today's show. As a strengths, resilience, and leadership coach, the greatest value I can bring in this role is to stand in the gap for leaders, especially women leaders like you who want more for your life and your leadership. The number one goal is to motivate, inspire, and help you change your reality of transformation by supporting your move forward in pursuit of your dreams and desires, those things that you want most for your life. Your greatest you is ready to break through to your best you. And Dr. Helen Speaks is a resource to help you get there. Each week, we show up to explore topics to discover, uncover, and level up your leadership by leveraging your strengths, the best of who you are. Help you manage weaknesses. Ladies, we all have them. And to build your resilience. Resilience is a power that helps you persevere and push through life's distractions, detours, and derailers to your success. Using an innovative, heart-centered approach, we help you achieve more success with less stress and yield greater joy in your life. How does success show up? There are three clear ways in which success can be measured. One is by an improvement in your performance, how you're doing things, how you're showing up. Secondly, to increase in your productivity. Are you getting more things done? Are you helping your team or your organization to achieve more? And thirdly, growth in your prosperity potential. Okay, it's a fancy word for saying profits. However, a stronger bottom line helps all organizations, entities, entrepreneurs, whatever your role is in life. The bottom line is always a measure that helps you gauge what's going well, what's not going well, what needs to be tweaked, and how you can continue to do what you do best. Our approach awakens a path for you to have more of what you want on purpose, with intention, and on your terms. Three really important things to think about. As your show host, coach, connector, and convener of leaders, Dr. Helen Speaks is a resource to support you in ways to optimize your leadership, life, and legacy. I recently attended the International Maxwell Conference as part of my leadership professional development. And I left there with lots of nuggets and leadership pearls to share with you. What's true is that if you aren't learning from other leaders who know more than you, how are you preparing and equipping yourself as a leader to pour into others? Keeping your content fresh, new learning, unlearning some things that aren't necessarily relevant today, and continuing that path. Leadership isn't a pinnacle that you reach and then say, oh, okay, that's done. Let's move on to the next thing. It's something that you continually do and build upon. John Maxwell said, everything rises and falls on leadership. Spending some time to reflect and think about those 6 words, everything rises and falls on leadership, led me to our series on leadership pearls that we're launching today. We're going to explore what this means for leaders in the present age, like you, serious about your leadership growth and development, and how you're leading and helping to develop other leaders that follow you. None of us are born as great leaders or even good leaders. It's something we develop. Now, you may have some natural inclinations towards leadership. However, For it to show up best for you, it takes time, commitment, investment, and intention to learn, grow, and develop as leaders others want to follow. John Maxwell says it best, and he defines leadership with a couple of words, but my favorite word is influence. Influence really boils down to who's following you, who's learning from you, who's getting better at what they do based upon what you bring to the world. Do you have the opportunity to do what you do best every day? I ask you this each week because it's a powerful question for you to consider what you do best, tapping into that. Studies have shown far too often we spend too much time trying to develop things that are not the best of who we are, that are not how we most naturally think, feel, and behave. And when you do that, you're missing the opportunity to bring your best forth. And so what you do best and how it shows up in your daily life is what we're helping you to focus in on and achieve. What we want for you is to live your best life ever. Over the years, I've learned at the heart of what you want is a higher power within you to deepen your awareness and engagement with your best self. Your willingness to confront your deepest truths about what you really want for your life is where transformation begins, personally and professionally, not only for you, but those who follow you, that you lead. You see, engagement's a key skill for your leaders, you, and one of the most effective ways to level up your leadership for more success, satisfaction, peace of mind, and power. It's your unique path to be seen, heard, and impactful. Think of it as being in continual practice of building your legacy. How you engage with yourself and others is what sets you apart from anyone else. On some level, isn't that what you really want for your life? To have a genuine sense of belonging where the world gets to connect with the best of who you are? My personal commitment to you is to help you bring your best, your A game to the world. At Dr. Helen Holton and Associates, we support, guide, and coach you to connect and engage deeper with who you are at your best. You know, when I think about Serena Williams and her, at first it was touted, her final, she's retiring, she's evolving, moving on. It's yet to be seen if she's moving away from the sport of tennis. What it brings up, though, is that there's not a new thing under the sun. What is new is your knowledge, perspectives, and actions you take, gained through a more informed lens, shaped by the wisdom of lessons learned, lived experience, and earned expertise. One thing I enjoy is when we have other leaders here on the show who share from their pearls of leadership. We all have them. How often do we stop and really identify what they are? And once we've identified them, are we using them to help others move forward? What keeps you moving forward from here to what's next? Dr. Helen Speaks, we're here to ignite your spark and fuel your flame to think, be, and do, as I call it, the TBD effect. How to think, be, and do more of who you are, to get more of what you really want for your life as a leader. Catch our show live on the Win-Win Women TV network every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time and 1 p.m. Eastern time. Replays are also available here and on Roku TV, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, and soon on our YouTube channel. More about that to come. Here's a shout out to Paula Fellingham, the founder and visionary leader and dream weaver of the Win-Win Women Network. Together, we share, learn, and grow to motivate and inspire your success as a leader. Thank you for being a part of our community. Now, before we take a deeper dive, I want you to grab your note-taking device, pen and paper, tablet, computer, or whatever means you use to capture those rich nuggets to support your success. We want you to capture the juicy things you hear that spark or inform you with wisdom, insight, and aha moments that will empower you to think, be, and do more. We don't want you to miss anything. And just in case you do, you can always catch the replay from one of our outlets. You ready to go? Great. Me too. Let's do it. Our topic today is leadership pearls, gems for success. That's exactly what they are. And I love the notion of pearls because pearls are what women do. Maybe some men, I don't know. However, I'm reminded of pearls, girly girls, those things that make you feel really special. When you think about what it takes for a pearl to become a pearl, it doesn't happen overnight. And becoming the best leader you can become doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. So when I thought about the time it takes to become a leader, sometimes those seeds are planted within us very early in life, and sometimes they come a little later. However, eventually they do come if leadership is the call for you. I admire Dolly Parton, a leader who knew what she wanted as a young child. She applied what I called a 1-2-3 formula to nurture, stimulate, and guide you to what you want, to think, be, and do, or TBD. In the words of Dolly Parton, she said, if your actions create a legacy that inspires others to dream more, learn more, and become more, then you are an excellent leader. Wow, I thought about that and I said, spot on. And look at what she's accomplished today. Not so much with a vision of what she wanted for herself, but to use her gifts and talents to motivate, inspire, and transform others to what they want, to believe what's possible for their lives. So let's think about that for a moment. What actions are you doing to pour into others? I know for me, I've been following leaders for most of my life, impactful leaders that see and live the power of doing for others. Now, my journey began back in the days when I listened to leadership giants on cassette tapes. Yes, I'm dating myself a little bit. I don't even think they make them anymore, let alone something to play them on. If anyone knows of where a good cassette player is, please let me know. I can't think of where I have a device that can play a cassette tape, though I do have those cassette tapes from way back in the day. There weren't many women leaders back then that taught leadership publicly to hundreds and thousands of potential developing and growing leaders. Back in the day, one of the leaders I followed was Zig Ziglar, who said, if you will first help others get what they want, they will help you get what you want. It makes sense. I believe fair exchange is no robbery. We all have something that we can give to others, and in turn, it comes back to us. Now, what I've learned in this life is that the giving and receiving aren't necessarily from the same person. However, when you really open yourself up to give without looking for, and what are you going to give me in return for what I'm going to give you? It usually doesn't work out as well. However, when you give out of the resource and knowledge that you have to help someone else along their journey, It's surprising when you think about it. How have others poured into you without you asking or shared something that helped you figure, yes, that's the way I need to go to make this happen? When you put others first in helping them, it comes back to you. However, I never considered that by helping others, they in return would be helping me. Once again, something I learned as my leadership grew and matured through experience and listening to great leaders. Interestingly, the help you receive from others is powerful. And today, I always think about, as others pour into me, how can I give it back? It reminds me of sayings, I don't know who said them, I just remember them, that you get what you give. You get what you give. What are you giving without asking for something in return? Or here's another one. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. How often has that come up in your reality? I like to call it the law of reciprocity. When you give something, it'll come back to you, which is why it's important to always kind of go through life with your hands open. Because when you hold on to things so tightly because you don't want others to take them or claim them for themselves, you're not open to receive new and different things. I'm constantly reminded that there's nothing really new. Most of what we learn or become aware of has been around, some of it for quite some time. There may be new or different ways to understand it, which I tend to think of as evolution, which is good. Things that were done 50 years ago, it doesn't mean we can't do them today. Maybe they've been tweaked or shifted and we do them differently. So the value of it doesn't change. Making it relevant for the present age is more of what happens. It means others have thought about it and shared their perspectives that can become insightful to you and me as we grow and develop our leadership. How do you share what you've learned and practice with others? That's a really, how are you sharing back what you're taking in? And I think when you really stop and think about that, it brings up new ways in which you can expand that. And not always in a volunteer capacity. Maybe you share it with a client or the organization you represent. Pouring into others is a great way to be filled up with new ways in which to expand your leadership. As you all know, and maybe for those who are new and don't know, yes, I am a fan of Gallup Clifton Strengths. And I think for me, it's one of the best leadership tools to help you understand how you most naturally think, feel, and behave. When you can identify those elements of you, and there are many assessments that do that. I tend to like this one a lot. I think it's very easy to access, and I find it to be rather dynamic and not static. What do I mean by that? That it's not something that once you get it, it stays there, it never changes. There are other things that help it to help you develop and be more of who you're meant to be. Yeah. What do you really want for your life? How much thought do you give to that? So I spent time this summer really focusing in on growth and expansion, learning how to do more of what I do to give away to others. And in the process of it, yes, I do get paid to do it sometimes. Woohoo! Yeah, that's a winner. However, I know that when I give it out to people, that where it helps them really move forward in their life, that's a good thing. For me, it's a God thing. Yes. So I want to talk about what Gallup deems as net thriving of well-being. Like engagement, well-being is very important, especially today. How often have you spoken to someone who shared with you how exhausted they are, or that they need a break, or that they don't want to keep doing what they've been doing? Well, there are several ways that you can unpack that so that you can narrow in on, where am I not being fulfilled in my life? What is it that's standing in the way of me moving to the next level or expanding my leadership to think, be, and do more? Whether it's in your career, do you like what you do every day? Do you even ask yourself if you like what you do every day? Sometimes we go through the motions without giving much thought to, what does it mean to be fulfilled in what I do career-wise? Here's another. What about social? What meaningful friendships do you have in your life? Do you have that, what I call your tribe or your posse or your crew, that you go to, that you spend time with regularly, that give a richness to your life, to exchange information and ideas, by the way, that can help grow your leadership? And here's a big one for today: financial. How well are you managing your money? How are you making it count in ways that it hasn't before? When they talk about inflation, gas prices rising, food prices rising, inflation rising. Oh, inflation going down, gas prices going down. All of that plays a part. Are you increasing your savings? Are you putting money away for retirement, or just that rainy day? That's right, increasing those savings, not that slush fund. So when the weekend comes, like, yeah, I got plenty of money to do with. However, that's not a bad idea if those are the type of things you like to do on the weekend. What's it mean that when you put aside some so that it doesn't take care of those responsibilities you have to take care of? Physical well-being, the energy to get things done. I noticed that I need more rest. Yeah. And rest isn't always about sleeping. Sometimes it's just slowing the pace, clearing my mind. There are all sorts of apps these days that give you a 1-minute meditation or a 10-minute something to listen to, sounds. I've learned to shut the TV down, not just when I'm ready to go to sleep or go to bed, but shut it down earlier. Maybe listen to some soothing music to help calm me down from the activities of the day. Yeah, that matters. What about community? Do you like where you live? Yeah. I feel very blessed in where I live. I've been in my neighborhood for more than 30 years. And when I think about other communities where people are they content and happy where they live? And if not, how can they change it if they're not in a, how can you change it if you're not in a position to move? There are all sorts of things to think about when you think about community. How are you connected? Do you speak to your neighbors? Do you know them by name? And for me, there's number 6, spirituality. That element that's not seen, but it's felt. You think about it. And maybe it is seen when you see other people that you think, wow, look at what a great person they are. I want to find out how they do that. And maybe I can look at some of the things they're doing to drive my faith life. Spirituality, which is also tied to your ability to think, be, and do you. What do you really want for your life? I came up with 3 things that really become the hallmark of what you want for your life. And it begins with your desires, your dreams, your passions, your purpose, those things you pursue in life that lead to the imprint or the legacy that you leave in this life. Mhm. They're not just passing fancies. And when you stop, and I'm a firm believer in writing things down. We do so much with typing it on our phone or on the computer. Science has proven that when you have pen and paper in hand and you write long-handed some of those things that you aspire or you dream about, It gives more meaning. It causes it to resonate more within your brain of how the brain works. Your purpose. What are you here for? What mark do you want to leave in this world? What's your legacy? How are you building it to move forward? Mhm. Can you identify your purpose and share it with others succinctly? Sharing your purpose with others helps to ingrain it for you. And it's okay if it shifts. I think it's rather surprising if it doesn't shift, if it's a very long purpose that you have. And sometimes if it's short, as you grow and mature, it changes over time as well. And thirdly, your sauciness. And I use that term as it pertains particularly to women. It's that irrepressible spirit of sass that lives within you. You know, we all have a little bit of it, even if we don't let it out for the world. That's a part of who you are, which makes you unstoppable in whatever you do. You know why? Because there's no one else exactly like you. Here's something to keep in mind is that the things that matter most to you are the things that get your attention the most. They represent your unique imprint on the planet, the influence you have on human beings that follow you and what you do. Your influence is tied to your leadership. It's your legacy in motion. It begins with you identifying and understanding your purpose. What are you really passionate about? Think about the things you do because it means something to you. In the pursuit for your life, what are you really after? Where do you spend your time? So here's a question for you. I always like to close out the show with a call to action. What will you do starting today to make an intentional mark on how you move forward? How are you willing to invest in your leadership? We're going to talk about leadership pearls and get specific in some of the learnings of leadership that you can pick up and adopt for yourself. And if you've picked up a nugget or two to stretch you today, to grow you a little more, then take action. TBD, think, be, and do. If you want more support, reach out to me and let's talk about it. I love talking about helping others become more of who they are, to take their leadership to the next level. Wherever you are on your path to success is exactly where you're supposed to be right now. Doesn't have to stay there. And part of our mission is to help you move forward and take it to the next level. Grow. Many years ago, my mother taught me there's no such thing as standing still. If you're not moving forward, newsflash, you're moving backwards. We don't want to do that. We want to keep moving forward. At Dr. Helen Holton and Associates, we work with leaders using a heart-centered approach to help you level up your leadership by leveraging your strengths, the best of who you are, those things that you do most naturally, how you most naturally think, feel, and behave. We help you to understand and manage weaknesses because we all have them. Don't get caught up in trying to fix them or make them something that they're never going to be. And build resilience. Resilience is a power that helps you persevere and push through the challenges that get in the way of your success. To do these things, it leads to more success, less stress, and greater joy in your life and those around you because you're happier. So keep coming back. We'll be here. Share our show with friends and colleagues. Who do you know that would appreciate picking up some leadership pearls to propel them forward for what they're after? Join the community of Dr. Helen Speaks, Strengths, Resilience, and Leadership. here on the Win-Win Women Network every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Together, we will work with you to live your best life ever, doing what you do best every day. Can't wait to see you and help you on your journey to success.